Good afternoon. It is June 1st, 2022, and here's what we're looking at for the day. I think, I mean, it's a down day for sure, but you could see a lot of buyers came back, but then they couldn't take it much higher. That closed from yesterday, it looks like, and the overnight lows held prices as resistance. So that's actually something to keep in mind. Let me make these yellow, and then we'll take a look. I think I did a pretty thorough analysis today. So in the overnight, we had this move up. This came at 447, and it's a failed second entry short, but I just don't like how far it closed away from the EMA. And we're just not really sure what prices are doing. They're kind of just chopping back and forth. They are making lower highs, so it's just not something I would feel comfortable taking. You're going into this swing high, but maybe there's something there. That's why I marked it. And here we have the second entry, but we wouldn't have had this trend channel yet. Really, all you could look at this as is some sort of counter trend break lower. But it is a second entry. It's just that it doesn't make a new low or a matching low. So I don't know. You can't really take that. And this is really where our trend channel is confirmed. And that's like a failed third entry short. This failure is when it ticks above this. So actually it's like a failed second entry short, but we're waiting for prices to go higher. And I was thinking that they might maybe to go short if it made a lower high, but then we got the trend channel confirmed, and then you can see it comes up here. We get a break, and there's our lower high. I don't think you want to go short though. You get a first entry, second entry. That doesn't set up. I would look at this as like a reset the count because it's a double bottom. First entry failed second entry, but I think you're just better off waiting for the higher low, and we make a matching low right here. So not the greatest entry, but we are expecting a new high, and that's what happens. So it's like a second entry matching low. Good signal bar. Traps these shorts who are taking a failed second entry short, or failed second entry long, excuse me. And you get a nice leg down, and it's just chopping around. Come here, you get a first entry, second entry, that doesn't trigger, and then we go higher. So now it's really not clear what's happening. Maybe there was a news item here at 7 o'clock. This bar is 12 points, so that's a little crazy. And then we form this channel down. This looks like it might have gotten moved. Oh no, I drew it off these highs, so that makes sense. You see we get a slight overshoot. That leads to a break. You get this leg down, so that's two legs down to a new low, and form this congestion, and you get a double test right here. But it doesn't quite touch the EMA, you see. So people who took the double test right here, well, first of all, you're going right into the midline, but we didn't touch the EMA, and that's something you really want to watch out for. And if you took this one works, but that didn't touch the EMA either. So I'm thinking this lower high that tests the EMA. I think that might be where you want to enter. But that, look, you're going into lows there. At least here you got room to these lows. And I do think this channel is valid. You see we get a touch here and then confirmation right here. This looks like a midline, and then we make this measured move down. So I think this is a valid channel, but it doesn't really hold prices much. So you get a first entry, failed second entry here, but ends up looking congestive. Also, it's counter trend, so I'm not looking to go long. and we're just back and forth on both sides of the EMA. We get this leg up. Failure comes right here. That's too far from the EMA. And then you get this break, and the way I'm seeing it like this, you don't get a new high, so I don't think you want to take that lower high. It looks pretty darn good, though, especially we're in a downtrend, and we haven't hit that measured move, so, I mean, you really might consider that. And if you don't take that, I think you can take this failure right here. You'd have to go on the engulfing bar. I mean, you might take this one. You might. It's just high risk. First entry, second entry doesn't set up. We confirm the trend channel right here. First entry, second entry, but I don't think you would have that. I don't know. That'd be really hard to see in real time. Nothing I like here. You get the overshoot. It does lead to a break. That's just the first entry. That looks like one leg up, so I'm not going to take that, but I'm going to take this second entry short / lower high off the trend channel. I like that. And if you don't take that, there's a failure right here, but I marked it green because of all this these dojis. There's room to these lows. So, and this is technically a second entry short, so it's off the trend channel. So you might take that. And this looks like a second entry, but it doesn't set up too well, and we're flip-flopping on both sides of the EMA at this point. And yeah, we formed this range, and I think there's like a range above right here, the pink range, within this range. Is that where we bottomed at? Yeah, it looks like it. So you get a first entry, second entry, doesn't set up. Signal bar is no good. We come up here, we test this. Ooh, I remember looking at this in real time, and I think the reason I marked it is because this kind of looks like a new swing low, first entry, second entry, and a failed break higher. So if this signal bar finished better, I would like that. But then you get a lower high anyway, and the key here is with this lower high is there was room. I think there was just enough room to scalp out before the midline, and it wouldn't have mattered, but that's how you want to think. And I think I entered on a limit order on my practice account. Got like a tick or two back. And then we bounce off the midline, come back up here, and then it fails, comes back to the bottom. And this is actually a second entry. Well, I looked at this as a triple top. So first entry, second entry. So, I mean, some people took that and they picked the bottom and got the low of the day. I would say wait, and this higher low, I like this one. You get a failure right here, but that's not off a trend line. That's a second entry short, but the highs, we didn't know if the highs were actually up here at that point. And then you make this like double bottom, first entry, second entry. You might have taken that because it's right off the measured move of this one. So you might consider that. But that forms a spike in channel. And so we're moving up. And originally I had my highs off these highs, but made a measured move up here. So this is a first failed second entry. Confirms that spike in channel. Looks like it closes a little below the EMA, but that looks pretty good. So maybe at that point you might not. I don't know. Maybe this should be green. Not too sure. Excuse me. And then this is just a higher low off that trend channel. Come up here. First entry, second entry. Well, actually, this is the second entry, but this looks like a second entry off the trend channel. Very bullish. I like that. And then you get a higher low if you don't like that one. Yeah, but it doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't come back up to this top of this trend channel. I guess so. This is a break probably. Move to a new high. Boom. First entry, failed second entry long, and they probably just trapped a bunch of shorts right here. And boom. So if you're feeling aggressive, that's a triple test right there. Originally, I had this level of support drawn like right here, and then I figured that that wouldn't really come into play once we broke lower. But you can see it came back into play over here. So something to think about. It's an aggressive trade, and that would have been a really nice move. We formed this range up here, and I guess I didn't see anything I liked in here. We break out counter trend, then break out with trend, and they trap a bunch of longs. So there's a failure right here, but it's in this range. It's just not worth it. And I think I looked at this as like a new high, first entry. Oh, first entry, second entry, but it's a range, and that's a terrible signal bar, so you can't take that. We come up, test the overnight lows, make a lower high here, and I guess the failure comes here. Did these people scalp out? I would think these people scalped out. Yeah, they scalped out. So if you took that failure, you made it. Just very aggressive. This is a second entry short right here. So it just looks congested, though. You're going into this support. Come up here, first entry, second entry, very bearish. So you might take that. That's all I saw for today. So, yeah. Hope everyone had a great day, and I'll be back tomorrow.